I'm leaving my wife after 15 years together. I'm not asking for advice, and I'm not going to change my mind. I'm tired of her criticizing everything I do, always complaining when the kids ask her for something, and just in general her bad attitude. My wife June, fake name, and I are 35 years old, been together since 15 and married at 26. After 6 months of being together, even though we were young, I asked her if she ever saw herself being a mother because I knew I've always wanted 2 kids, and I wanted to be on the same page with my partner. She said yes, she wanted kids of her own, but if I had known this was how nasty she was going to be, I would have left her. The first 3 years of our relationship were amazing. My parents loved her and vice versa. At 18 I knew I wanted to wife her up. The relationship started going downhill when we both went to college. She was 3 hours away from where I went to school at and made me come see her every weekend. Anytime I asked her if she'd come see me instead because I didn't have money for gas to drive all the way to her or money for a bus ticket, she'd make an excuse as to why she couldn't come or complain about how her friends' boyfriends would come and see them every weekend without complaint, and I'd suck it up and borrow money or use up my savings. This was the first red flag I ignored because I thought I was in love. Somehow things became worse after school. When we started working, I saved up to get my own place to stay at while she was still with her parents. When times become tough and I was low on money and couldn't afford my bills and groceries, my parents allowed me to stay at their place since I bought my house and didn't rent it, so I could just lock it up and come back when I wanted to. Apparently me moving out when I was struggling was an inconvenience to her. In her defense, she didn't have anywhere to go to when she was bored. Second red flag I ignored as she kept saying, "As a man, how do your parents still pay your bills?" I don't know why I married her after she humiliated me because of the present I gave her for her birthday. Her 26th birthday was coming up, so I decided to propose to her on her birthday and plan a small surprise for her to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Apparently that was tacky and cheap of me to propose at her birthday gathering. Now I always knew she wanted me to go all out for her proposal, and I was saving up for that, but since I wanted her to know I was serious about her and wanted to marry her, I proposed with a ring with an emerald gem. She flipped. She kept on talking about how small the ring was, and how she was disappointed in this cheap engagement. I told her about how I was saving up to give her the grand proposal she wanted, but then she told me she would have preferred to wait than wear that cheap ring. Still, I went ahead and married her. She was a complete pain in the butt during the wedding preparations. She kept on dismissing any ideas I had, and told me to let her handle all the planning, and I should just pay and watch. I let it go as I wanted peace. Now the kids. We have twin girls, 2 years old and absolute bundles of joy. When she first gave birth to them she was grumpy all the time and almost hit them once because they were crying. I took them to my parents' house for the weekend and gave her the scolding of her lifetime. She blamed it on her postpartum depression and said she'd go to therapy for it. The last straw for me was when she didn't pick me up on time from the airport, so I missed my girl's birthday. That's when I knew I was over her bull crap. She told me she was asleep when our girls were playing alone outside the house where the party was with no adult supervision because their friends' parents dropped them off and left. I'm keeping them with me when I sack her. There's no way in heck I'm letting her have my house. There are so many other incidents I can list, but for the sake of time I'm ending it here. Her birthday is in 2 weeks and she's always wanted to go to Greece, so I'm going to put the divorce papers in an envelope and name it Greece Tickets, and hide it in plain sight. She has no idea what's about to hit her insensitive, abusive self. I hope she's miserable.